Angel blessings from on high, with love, God said, what up? The Legion of Lord Michael in association with the Order of Metatron, in literal and many rad ways, unity with the Order of Melchizedek, in love and light present chakras more fully. All praise to the Most High. Amen. Now we find ourselves in the midst of sublunar space. Twilight zone ain't got nothing on this, but all gravy, baby. Head high, get you a taste. Yessir, you simply embrace. Now let me take you on a journey to know more fully, and let's start and see what Ra has to say as we go through and explore chakras, energy centers, wheels. Shall we? And so it is. How does an individual go about balancing himself? What is the first step? I am Ra. The steps are only one. That is an understanding of the energy centers which make up the mind-body-spirit complex. This understanding may be briefly summarized as follows. The first balancing is of the Malkuth, or the earth, vibratory energy complex, called the red ray complex. An understanding and acceptance of this energy is fundamental. The next energy complex which may be blocked is the emotional or personal complex, also known as the orange ray complex. This blockage will often demonstrate itself as personal eccentricities or distortions with regard to self-conscious understanding or acceptance of self. The third blockage resembles most closely that which you have called ego. It is the yellow ray or solar plexus center. Blockages in this center will often manifest as distortions toward power, manipulation, and other social behaviors concerning those close and those associated with the mind-body-spirit complex. Those with blockages in these first three energy centers or nexi will have continuing difficulties in ability to further their seeking of the law of one. The center of heart, or the green ray, is the center from which third density beings may springboard, shall we say, towards infinite intelligence. Blockages in this area may manifest as difficulties in expressing what you may call universal love or compassion. The blue ray center of energy streaming is the center which for the first time is outgoing as well as inpouring. Those blocked in this area may have difficulty in grasping the spirit-mind complexes of its own entity and further difficulty in expressing such understandings of self. Entities blocked in this area may have difficulties in accepting communication from other mind-body-spirit complexes. The next center is the Pineal, or the Indigo Ray center. Those blocked in this center may experience a lessering of the influx of intelligent energy due to manifestations which appear as unworthiness. This is that which you spoke. As you can see, this is but one of many distortions due to the several points of energy influx into the mind-body-spirit complex. The indigo ray balancing is quite central to the type of work which resolves about the spirit complex, which has its influx, then into the transformation or the transmutation of third density to fourth density, it being the energy center receiving the least distorted outpourings of love light from intelligent energy, and having also the potential for the key to the gateway of intelligent infinity. The remaining center of energy influx is simply the total expression of the entity's vibratory complex of mind, body, and spirit. It is as it will be, balanced or imbalanced, has no meaning at this energy level, for it gives and takes in its own balance. Whatever the distortion may be, it cannot be manipulated, as can the others, and therefore has no particular importance in viewing the balancing of an entity. 369, we're talking about the divine. Then is it necessary to penetrate one plane at a time as we move from what we call third density physical through these planes? I am Ra. It has been our experience that some penetrate several planes at one time. Others penetrate them slowly. Some in eagerness attempt to penetrate the higher planes before penetrating the energies of the so-called lower or more fundamental planes. This causes energy imbalance. You will find ill health, as you call this distortion, to frequently be the result of a subtle mismatch of energies in which some of the higher energy levels are being activated by the conscious attempts of the entity, while the entity has not penetrated the lower energy centers or subdensities of this density. Thank you. Is it possible for an entity in third density physical to vary widely across the entire band of colors, or is the entity pretty well zeroed in on one color? I am Ra. This will be the last full question of this working. Please restate for clarity. You just used the term third ray in that statement. Was that the term that you meant to use? I am Ra. We intended the green ray. Our difficulty lies in our perception of red ray and violet ray as fixed. Thus the inner rays are those which are varying, and are to be observed as those indications of seniority in the attempts to form and harvest. I sense that there is fruitful ground for investigation of our development in tracing the evolution of the bodily energy centers, because these 7 centers seem to be linked with all of the 7s that I spoke of previously and be central to our own development. Could you describe the process of evolution of these bodily energy centers, starting with the most primitive form of life to have them? I am Ra. This material has been covered previously to some extent. Therefore, we shall not repeat information upon which rays dwell in first and second density, and the wherefores of this, but rather attempt to enlarge upon this information. The basic pivotal points of each level of development, that is, each density beyond second, may be seen to be as follows. Firstly, the basic energy of the so-called red ray. This ray may be understood to be the basic strengthening ray for each density. It shall never be condescended to as less important or productive of spiritual evolution, for it is the foundation ray. The next foundation ray is yellow. This is the great stepping stone ray. At this ray, the mind-body potentiates to its fullest balance. The strong red-orange-yellow triad springboards the entity into the cinder ray of green. This is again a basic ray, but not a primary ray. That is the resource for spiritual work. While green ray has been activated, we find the third primary ray being able to begin potentiation. This is the first true spiritual ray, in that all transfers are of an integrated mind-body-spirit nature. The blue ray seats the learning and teachings of the spirit in each density within the mind-body complex, animating the whole, communicating to others this entirety of beingness. The indigo ray, though precious, is that ray worked upon only by the adept, as you would call it. It is the gateway to intelligent infinity.